What's going on, everyone? So my last video caused quite a lot of feedback. I wasn't really quite expecting that to happen. A lot of people chimed in with their ideas, comments, questions, and I thought I'd answer or review some of them here in this, and I'll just have like random friendly footage in the background or something. I still haven't decided what I'm going to use. But yeah, so let's go ahead and answer some questions. Alright, this is from Oreo the Wolf. Removing the meter gain from Morgan isn't as detrimental as you think. It's not like she's getting no meter if you remove that. She'd still be getting meter by locking you down with assists. Assists still build meter during install supers. The problem now is when you just block. You get chipped for half health and it's meter positive because you need to factor in the meter gain from assists. This Astral Vision shouldn't be able to feed itself indefinitely. That's the problem. Okay, Oreo the Wolf, I think you think that assists give more meter than they actually do. Even some of the best ones, like hidden missiles, don't actually give that much meter. Like, for instance, it takes 17 Doom hidden missile calls to get an entire bar of meter if the opponent's blocking. That's not a lot of meter from chip. It's when the assists lock you down into multiple fireball lanes, or worse, if they hit you into Morgan's fireballs. That's when you give Morgan the crazy amounts of meter, when you get hit by stuff. As long as you don't get hit by stuff, she's not meter positive. And even when you factor in Astral Vision, it's still not meter positive so long as the opponent is just sitting in the corner blocking. I think that's mainly the biggest misconception, is that Morgan is always meter positive no matter what she does when her Astral Vision is up. LNG Ezra adds, these were pretty good arguments, but I'm going to have to disagree with some of what you said. The chip part is kind of crucial. I think they should decrease chip or take out meter gain for her. If anything, they should nerf Doom hidden missiles. Shell kick is ridiculously good, and I still want that nerf, but you are right, she can't happy birthday without it. But I'm just saying, fix the hurt box on her when she uses shell kick. I know a lot of people have issues with my arguments on Morgan's ability to gain meter and chip during Astral Vision. I understand that it's a hard concept to grasp, but an easy way to understand what I understand is to look at it this way. If you ask any FGC member, they understand the phrase "bad things happen to those that block." That's a pretty easy to understand concept. You can ask anybody that and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. But most people think that it only applies to rushdown. And it does apply to rushdown. The person that's losing a match is probably the one that's blocking. But it's also applicable to spamming as well. Bad things happen to those that are trying to block spamming as well. And the bad thing that has to happen is they have to be able to take chip, and Morgan has to be able to gain meter. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to just do anything but sit and block. And Capcom understands that an exciting game isn't a game that makes it easier for the opponent to sit there and block. They understand that it's in the opponent's best interest to try to avoid fireballs and try to avoid blocking as much as possible. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why I think she'll always be able to chip and she'll always be able to gain meter during Astral Vision. Alright, Mike Smith says, this is coming from a Morgan player. Laugh out loud, why can she gain meter if Wolverine can't? Morgan is as broke as Zero and Virgil, nerf that chick. She needs it, we want fighting games, not spam. And sorry, I'm not a Morgan... Wait. You're not a Morgan player, this is coming from a Morgan player. Oh. Okay, whatever. And bullet hell is very easy for me to do. Okay. I've already listed a ton of reasons why I think Morgan should be able to gain meter during her install super, so I'm not going to say those all over again. But there's a really good reason why Wolverine shouldn't be able to gain meter during his. Wolverine's install super is very short. It doesn't last a long time. So if he were able to gain meter during that time that his install super is up, he'd be able to go from install super to install super to install super to install super indefinitely. And I don't think you should be able to do that. That's one of the reasons why I think they're going to nerf Virgil, so that he won't be able to do that if they were ever to patch the game. So that's the big reason why Wolverine shouldn't be able to gain meter. And Morgan is different because she can't use hers to extend combos. It's only to buff her neutral game, to buff her projectiles for her neutral game. So it's a little different. It doesn't work exactly the same.
Okay, Prodigy TV1 asks, what if AV didn't gain meter and Soul Drain stole less bar but had slightly faster startup by like 3 to 6 frames or so? So you could use it reliably in more combos / juggles. That way, if you only gain meter back if you have the proper setups and executions. Okay, this is actually a pretty creative idea, but I don't think it's one that Capcom would go for, because if you take away meter gain during Astral Vision, you're changing the entire landscape of Morgan. But you're suggesting to change it in a way so that it acts more like most install supers, like Dante's and Virgil's and Wolverine's. Take it out of the spamming game and put it into the comboing game. The idea is pretty interesting. It would be something really cool to see, but I don't think Capcom would go for it. They put Astral Vision in the game for a very specific reason. They want her to be a spamming character. But this would completely change her. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea, but again, it's not. I don't think it's something that Capcom would do. Okay, Jackbot1992 chimes in with so many dumb comments, La Fella. If you want to eliminate the Soul Fist spam, then I think that reducing the chip damage on Soul Fist is more than enough. This way, Morgan players don't want the opponent to block because it's not worth the chip anymore. And so they try to actually open them up, rewarding an offensive playstyle. Also, if Capcom is ever going to release a patch, it's obvious that hidden missiles are going to get nerfed in some way. If you also nerf Shell Kick, Morgan is going to be really underpowered. So Jackbot suggests to reduce the chip damage so that players won't want to spam. But I think Capcom fully intended for Morgan to be a spamming character. Based on how effective her spam game is and how ineffective her combo is, I think they want her to be more of a spamming character. That's kind of hard for some people to grasp, but I really think Capcom intended this. And here's the problem I have with reducing chip damage. It encourages opponents to want to sit in the corner and block, and I don't think Capcom is ever going to do a change that encourages players to block, because people hate that. Players hate that. They don't want to see an entire game of people sitting in the corner blocking Soul Fist spam. No, players despise that, and Capcom isn't gonna do a nerf or a change that encourages that. And the way that Astral Vision is designed right now is it's in the opponent's best interest to want to try to avoid fireballs, so that Morgan players don't get meter and so that they don't get chipped out. So I don't think Capcom is going to do a change quite like this. That's why I suggested that they're probably going to go more along the lines of nerfing Astral Vision so that it doesn't last as long. So yeah, I don't think this is the way that Capcom is probably going to go. But yeah, I kind of agree that they're probably going to nerf hidden missiles. I mean, I can't see how they can't. It's such a good assist. And it's so crazy that Doom has probably 2 of the best assists in the game. His beam super is also really good. I love his beam super. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, Shell Kick is Morgan's. It's part of her rushdown identity, and I don't think they're going to change it. I really don't, because it would be like nerfing Pipe. I mean, Hagar, yeah, Pipe is so broken. It is so amazing, but it's part of his identity and it's part of his rushdown. If you take away the best part of his rushdown, I mean, what would be the point of doing rushdown with Morgan? Or what would be the point of picking Hagar if either of them didn't have their rushdown identity? I don't think it's something that's going to happen. Dante Killer 342 suggests every character can benefit from meter gain by assist, but not like Morgan. Mostly due to the fact that not only is meter being earned by her and the assist, but also the clone. Stripping Morgan of meter gain during Astral Vision is the right thing, but a decision that will benefit both Morgan and non-Morgan players is taking away the ability for the Shadow to earn meter. This will allow Morgan to get something out of using it without being the omnipotent succubus we love to hate. Actually, Dante Killer 342, Morgan's clone doesn't give meter. It's hard to believe, but it's completely true. Her meter gain is exactly the same whether or not she has Astral Vision up. Now, whether this reinforces the idea that Morgan really does need a nerf to her meter gain is true or not, I don't know. If Capcom does nerf something, I could see it being a nerf to her meter gain, but again, I think they're going to go with something more along the lines of a 1 to 2 second nerf in the amount of time that Astral Vision lasts, because it is effectively a nerf to her meter gain, but in a way that it doesn't affect her non-Astral Vision form or her combos. 10th Skiller says, in my honest opinion, I would change her one frame fly / unfly, and that in theory would reduce the hard spamming of Soul Fist. This is something that I think Capcom's never going to do. I mean, the whole reason why they gave her that one frame unfly, her fly, by the way, is between 5 and 10 frames. It's not one. Her unfly is one frame. The whole reason why they gave her that one frame unfly was so that she's able to still block while she's moving around in the air. She has no ground dash, so she has to be able to defend herself while moving around in the air. And also, her combos back in vanilla were so pathetic. They were so hard to do, and they did no damage. The one frame unfly is to make comboing easier so that she's actually able to do something, some form of combo damage. So again, it's not something Capcom's going to go back on. Luis Martinez argues, oh my god, really? Seems like you're just defending Morgan, man. Thought you were better, you just want an OP character. Astral Vision should be level 3. That's all Morgan need. Okay, let's see. Where do I start? Seems like I'm just defending Morgan. Well, the title of the video is In Defense of Morgan, so I guess you got me? I mean, I wasn't really hiding it. I'm defending Morgan, but I'm defending her for the tons of reasons that I listed in the video. So, yeah, I just want an OP character. Everything that I suggested in my video is to either nerf Morgan or keep her the same. So I never once suggested to give her any type of buff. So Astral Vision should be level 3. That's all Morgan need. Really, man, you want to turn Astral Vision into a level 3? Astral Vision is doing so much damage that it's equivalent to the 400,000 unscaled attack that you tack on to a 6, 7, 800,000 damage combo. Astral Vision is doing as much damage as a million damage combo. Like, how many fireballs are you getting hit by to take that much damage? By the way, you're not supposed to get hit by fireballs. You're doing it wrong. And being on the same page, Kevin Bunch also suggests to bump Astral up to 2 or 3 meters to activate and remove the meter build. It'll be roughly equivalent to Strider's orbs at that point. She's strong without the super active, but it makes her a monster. And guys, please think of what you're asking for. Morgan without her meter gain and with bumping Astral Vision up to 2 or 3 bars, that's basically Strider without a teleport. I mean, picture Strider going into orbs without a teleport. What is he going to do? 50% chip for the cost of 3 bars. That's what he can do. That's basically what you're asking for Morgan. I don't think it's something that's going to happen.
You'd make a good addition to my brother.